Right, Danny, this is the last Star Wars one, and it's called Revenge. Yeah, you knew. Right, this one is the last of the ones that's before the first ones that we had. So this one is before A New Hope, but after Attack of the Clones. Right, so remember Count Dooku got away the other day when we did Attack of the Clones because Yoda was fighting him and he just ran off, little tinker. And then we found out that this guy Chancellor Palpatine was going to be the leader of the Senate or something. He was going to be really powerful in the Senate, which they all thought was a good thing, but I think you were saying that that was a bad thing because he might be naughty later. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be the Emperor at some point. But he might not. It all depends on this film now. Okay? So you ready to find out what happens?
Well, I think it does happen on this one.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see. It might not. Try not to know what's going to happen because it makes it more exciting if you don't know what happens sometimes. Okay, so I forgot what's going to happen. Oh yeah, this one starts and it says there's a massive war going on called the Clone Wars. So remember that the rebels, not the rebels, the Jedis are fighting on this, and the clones are on their side, and Senator Palpatine's in charge of them, and that's one side. Palpatine is in charge and ruling it with Yoda and Mace Windu, and they've got the clones to help them fight. And the bad guys, or well, the other side, are Count Dooku and General Grievous, and they're leading an army of robots called the Droid Army. Okay, so things have gone a bit awry in this war, and Count Dooku has captured Senator Palpatine. That's bad, isn't it? Captured him and he's holding him prisoner on a big spaceship. So Anakin and Obi-Wan have been a bit more grown up now. They're flying together in a mission to try and save the Chancellor. Okay, so they're flying around this massive spaceship that they have to try and break into. But now Anakin's got a bit more powerful, even more powerful, and he's probably at this point now the best Jedi around, maybe even in the whole galaxy. He's just so cool and tough, and he knows how to use his lightsaber really well. And Obi-Wan's pretty much finished with training him now. He's just just lets him get on with it, because now Anakin's so powerful that he saves Obi-Wan most of the time these days. So anyway, he's still a bit worried about Anakin, because Anakin's got a fiery streak. Remember what he did to all those Tusken Raiders who nicked his mum, and his mum died. He went crazy, didn't he? Killed them all. So they still got to watch out for him a little bit, and he's not quite a full Jedi yet. So but he really wants to be a Jedi because he knows he's got the potential. He knows he can do it. Anyway, they fly after General Grievous, and they see his ship, and they shoot some shields on it or something, and they get in. And as they fly their spaceships in, they both, oh no, I think one of them, Obi-Wan, jumps out of the spaceship and starts just attacking droids straight away, bashing them all up to bits as if it's really easy. And Anakin jumps out and starts helping him. They just start hammering these droids, killing loads of them. Well, it's not killing because they're not alive, they're just robots, breaking them all. They're just breaking them, because remember, killing's bad generally. And so at this point they help with R2-D2's help, who keeps making the lifts go up and down so that they can jump in and out of them. They find Chancellor Palpatine, but he's got these sort of electric handcuffs on that make him so he can't move, a bit like the ones that Obi-Wan had in the last film. So they think, right, we'll have to just help him escape. But before they can do anything, Count Dooku turns up and says, right, I'm gonna get you now. I'm the best, remember, Yoda couldn't defeat me. You both had no chance last time. You were both a couple of muppets. I beat you both. Then I nearly beat Yoda, but then I just had to go and sort out my washing. But Yoda definitely didn't win. I'm still the hardest and best Sith. I'm the Sith Lord. I'm really powerful. Just give in now. But Anakin and Obi-Wan said, no, we're not giving in. You might have beaten us last time, but we're better now, and Anakin in particular has improved a lot, so we reckon that we can beat you now. Come on, let's do it. So they all got their lightsabers, fighting really loads, and Count Dooku wasn't joking. He really is still really powerful. So it turns out that he bashes Obi-Wan and makes him fall over again, and he's knocked out on the floor. And then Dooku says, right, Anakin, now it's just us, and remember again that I beat you really easily last time. I think I cut your hand off, if I remember rightly, on that day. So just give in and join the dark side as well, why don't you? You might as well, you're going to join it anyway, so just join it now. And Anakin says, no, I'll never join the dark side. And he fights with Count Dooku.
Anakin does go to the dark side.
Yeah, but later. I was trying not to like tell you that bit. Don't give the story away before it's happened, Danny boy. You gotta wait for the story to happen itself. But I forgot what happens next. Oh yeah, Anakin beats Count Dooku and grabs his lightsaber and probably cuts his hand off to get him back. I can't remember if he does that or not. Should do. They should change it so he does. And then Count Dooku's on the floor going, no, don't kill me. And he's not gonna kill him because Anakin's a good Jedi, and he's just been trained to be calm, and if you win the fight, don't kill the person, just take them in and arrest them so they can go to prison and stuff. So Anakin was about to do that, but then Chancellor Palpatine pipes up and says, kill him. And Anakin says, no, I'm a proper Jedi, I'm not turning to the dark side, I'm not going to be angry. I know this guy cut my hand off, but you know, you can go to jail now and just sit there and read books or whatever and think about what he's done. And Chancellor Palpatine says, no, kill him. And Anakin gets a bit carried away in the moment, and he actually does it. He cuts Count Dooku's head off with his lightsabers, and his head rolls along the floor, and Anakin feels a bit ashamed about that because he knows it's not the Jedi way, and he says to Chancellor, oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was bad. And Palpatine says, nah, it's not, it's good, just get over it. So Anakin then goes to pick up Obi-Wan, and the Chancellor Palpatine says, no, leave him, leave Obi-Wan, he's dead. And Anakin says, no, I'm not leaving him, he's my Jedi Master, he's really nice to me, he's like trained me and stuff, he's coming with us. So he picks him up, and then they jump around on the spaceship, but the spaceship's crashing, and it's gonna sort of smash into the ground and stuff. And so they jump around in the lift shaft and they get stuck, and I think R2's still trying to help by making the lifts go up and down so they can they're trying to find out what floor to get off at, I think. So where the exits are, and they're trying to just get away, really, I think. And oh yeah, General Grievous then turns up, I think, and says to the Anakin and Obi-Wan and Chancellor Palpatine, right, I've captured you again now. So now you might have killed Count Dooku, but I'm going to get you now. I'm a big robot. I'm really tall. I've got 4 arms, and each arm has got lightsabers in it. So I've got 4 lightsabers, and you 2 have only got 2. So because you got 1 each, I've got 4. I'm going to win, basically. And that Chancellor geezer Palpatine, he's got no weapons. He's just standing there. So I'm going to beat you both. And so General Grievous, I think, or Count Grievous, General Grievous fights with Obi-Wan and Anakin.
No.
Doesn't he?
Qantas and Cody.
No, that's later. That's in the game. That's in the Lego game. I think in the film he just fights Anakin and Obi-Wan. I think. I just don't know, I can't remember. But anyway, General Grievous escapes and jumps out of the spaceship, and it's gonna crash. So Obi-Wan and Anakin quickly run to the controls and try to land the spaceship, and it's gonna crash and it's gonna smash into the ground, but they just about lift it up and they skid it along the runway, and they have saved everybody. They've saved all the spaceship. They've saved Chancellor Palpatine, and Obi-Wan and Anakin are big heroes, and they get off and everyone goes, yeah, woo, you're the best. And Anakin sort of says, yeah, I know, pretty good these days. I'm going to be a Jedi Master soon, or Jedi Knight, I mean. And yeah, watch this space, it's coming. I'm going to be a Jedi any minute.
Now he's going to become a Sith.
I know, well, you keep telling people what's going to happen. Someone might not know. But anyway, they go to the Jedi planet again, and Anakin, do you remember Anakin married Padme last time in secret? Well, he went and sees her again, and she says, oh, I'm going to be having children. Well, she says, well done for all the rescuing and stuff, but now I'm going to be having children. I'm going to have a baby, or maybe 2, I think. Don't know if she knows that or not. And he's excited. Anakin thinks, yeah, brilliant, that sounds good. But while they're asleep that night, Anakin keeps having dreams that Padme dies while she gives birth to the babies, and it keeps making him really annoyed and stressed out, and makes him angry, and he goes, I keep thinking that you're not going to make it through childbirth, it's so annoying, I'm really worried about it. So anyway, Anakin gets to join the Jedis, but they say the Jedis are a bit wary of him. Yoda seems to be getting a bit stressed out about Anakin, and he thinks that a big cloud hangs over his future or something, which we know it does, but Yoda's really wise and he knows this. But this makes Anakin even more annoyed, because he says, right, you're not going to be a Jedi Master, you're just going to be a bog standard Jedi, and what we want you to do is spy on Palpatine, because we're starting to get a bit worried about him. We think he might be a little bit dodgy. See, they're not as clever as you, Danny, because you knew that he was bad earlier. So Yoda says, right, can you keep an eye out on Palpatine And Anakin says, "Oh, this is a bit out of order. I really like him and I trust him." So he goes to meet Palpatine. Anakin does, and while they're watching some sort of concert, some sort of music concert, Palpatine starts to say things like, "Oh, that's really bad. You should have been a Jedi Master or whatever. You are the best one out of them. They know it, and they're just jealous. And Obi-Wan's just trying to hold you back." So Palpatine's been rude about the Jedis and saying that they're not being very nice to Anakin. And that makes Anakin think, yeah, they are annoying, the Jedis. You're right. So you see how he's twisting his mind against them, Danny boy. It's making Anakin think that the Jedis aren't very nice. But, so Anakin's sort of having a chat with him, and things are not going very well, I don't think. And then Obi-Wan, while this is going on, goes on a different mission, because he just says, "Look, Anakin, you're brilliant now. You don't need me to train you anymore. See you later. I'm going off on a different mission. I'm going to go after and chase the that robot that we had a fight with the other day, General Grievous. I'm going to go and try and fight him." So Obi-Wan flies to a different planet where General Grievous is. And then, while Obi-Wan's off fighting General Grievous, it goes back to show you that Anakin is starting to tell Palpatine about what his worries are. And he says to Palpatine, "I keep having weird dreams where Padme dies while she gives birth to our kids, and it's really making me worried." And Palpatine starts saying things like, "Yeah, it's really bad. Jedis are rubbish, aren't they? Because they make you just go along with everything and be really calm. But what you should do is get really angry about it and maybe learn some special powers that maybe only someone who knows the dark side of the Force might be able to work." And Anakin starts thinking, "Oh no, he started talking about the dark side. This guy might be a baddie. He keeps saying that the dark side's the best way forward, and he keeps saying that I should join the dark side and stuff if I want to help Padme not die." Because Palpatine says that Anakin, if he learns the ways of the dark side, could save Padme. So Anakin starts thinking, "Oh, okay, let's see how this goes. Maybe the dark side is the best way." But then he comes to his senses and says something like, "Nah, I'm a Jedi. I'm a proper Jedi. Obi-Wan's trained me really well. I'm not having this." So I think he goes back and tells the other Jedis that Chancellor Palpatine is really Darth Sidious. And Yoda's away at the moment. I think he's helping the Wookiees win a battle somewhere else with Chewbacca actually, and all the other Wookiees. And I think he's fighting with the clones who are helping the Wookiees as well. I think it's the Wookiees and the clones led by Yoda fighting against loads of droids. So he's off and he's busy. So that means that Mace Windu is in charge of the Jedis while Yoda's not there. And Mace Windu says, "Right, okay, thanks for letting us know, Anakin. Well done. Because you're too involved in this, you just stay here. You just wait here, and I'll go and get Darth Sidious and arrest him and bring him so that we can all have a go at him and tell him he's been really naughty and lock him away and stuff." So he does, and so he goes off to find
Palpatine.
Palpatine. Yeah, thank you. So Obi-Wan at this point is still away fighting against General Grievous. Everyone's all split up. You can tell that's usually when things go wrong. So Obi-Wan's fighting General Grievous, and he goes to this big platform where it is a massive circle that they're standing on, and General Grievous is fighting Obi-Wan with loads of lightsabers, and Obi-Wan's just shows true class of how good a Jedi he is, and he just fights General Grievous. I think he cuts one of his arms off, I think he cuts another one off or something, I can't remember, and then General Grievous starts winning, and Obi-Wan gets chucked on the floor, and his lightsaber's on the floor, and
General Grievous can't use the Force.
no, he can't, can he? I don't think. So General Grievous is about to kill Obi-Wan, and I forgot how Obi-Wan kills General Grievous. I think he shoots him with a blaster. I think he uses the Force, gets a blaster, and just shoots Grievous in the tummy or something, and breaks him, and he just burns up into bits, and he's gone. And Obi-Wan says, "Ha, yeah, won that battle." And then he decides to go back to find out how Anakin's getting on, because he usually has Anakin with him because he's been training him, but Anakin's been on his own for the first time, and this is why it gets bad now, because Mace Windu goes to get Palpatine and arrest him, and he's there, and he turns up and says, "Right, Palpatine, you're under arrest, and you're coming with me. We're gonna sort you out, matey." And so Palpatine says something like, "Oh, shut up, Mace Windu, I'm gonna get you. I'm Darth Sidious, really, you muppets. I'm really strong. I'm the best. Siths are the best. Siths are gonna beat the Jedis. Come on, let's have you." And he gets his lightsaber and fights with Mace Windu. What colour's Mace Windu's lightsaber? It's either red, blue or purple.
The best.
Purple's the best, is it? Right, that's the one Mace Windu's got, and he's fighting against Darth Sidious, and things are going alright for him, I think. But the bad thing is that Anakin gets one of those other shaky, dodgy premonitions where he thinks, "Oh no, Padme is gonna die unless I learn the dark side of the Force so I can help her." So he's been convinced by Palpatine that that's the way to save Padme. So he gets in his spaceship and he flies off to try and sort this out, or either that, or he goes to help Mace Windu. I can't remember why he goes, but he goes anyway, which is a bad move because Mace Windu's starting to win the battle against Palpatine, and who's also called Darth Sidious now because he's basically shown who he really is. And he starts to fire laser bolts, force lightning bolts at Mace Windu, and I think Mace has got him on his lightsaber and he's winning. He's actually beating
Palpatine?
yeah, or Sidious. And Darth Sidious started to get really old and horrible because his force lightning's run out and made him really like elderly looking. So he stops looking like a normal man, a middle-aged man. Now he looks like some sort of old skeleton-like emperor type figure, and he's lying on the floor going, "Ah, you've got me. All right then, you're probably gonna win now." And just then, Anakin turns up, and Mace Windu says, "Right, Anakin, come on, we've got to get him. We've got to beat this guy because he is really bad. And if we don't stop him now, he's going to take over everything. He's going to take over the whole galaxy and be in charge of it all because he's He wants to be the Emperor. He thinks he's really a big deal. We need to take him out. Come on, Anakin, do it. Let's get him. And Anakin, Mace Windu's about to kill Darth Sidious, and Anakin decides to stop him and stops Mace Windu, and I think he cuts his hand off with his lightsaber or something. Everyone's just cutting each other's hands off in this, and Mace Windu's going ah, and then Darth Sidious uses Force Lightning to shoot Mace Windu, and he flies off and falls out of the sky, and he's gone. And now Anakin is feeling really stressed out. He's going, oh no, this is really bad. I've turned evil. This is just, I'm turning to the dark side. And Palpatine, or Darth Sidious, says, yeah, you are in the dark side now, and there's no going back. Just get over it. You're in the dark side now. And Anakin's like, no, I've got to be a good Jedi again. And Sidious just says, just forget it. We all know that you're in the dark side team now, so give up this notion that you're gonna be good again. You just killed your own mate, so there's no chance for you now. You're just bad. Just get over it. And by the way, I've just changed your name as well. You're not called Anakin Skywalker anymore. You are called, what's he call him?
Vader.
Yeah, your new name is Darth Vader. So get over it, stop crying, and let's go and take over the galaxy. And so Anakin sort of says, oh yeah, go on then, I will. And Darth Sidious says, right, do you know what we're going to do first, my new apprentice? We are going to destroy all the Jedis and kill them all. And Anakin says, oh no, that's a bit harsh. What, even Yoda and Obi-Wan and all the other Jedis? And Darth Sidious says, yep, literally all of them. We're going to kill them all. And so...
Silly Darth Sidious.
I know. But it starts working, and the problem is it does work, and he does get power, because remember, Darth Sidious is also called Chancellor Palpatine. That's who everyone sort of knows him as. And when everyone thought he was good, they only went and put him in charge of the clone army, which is just a massive army of people in white suits. So now he's got a whole army to use, and that he can just command. So he says to the clone army, kill all the Jedis. And they do. And the clones are on the same side as the Jedis, which is really bad, because the clones just suddenly start turning and shooting lots of the Jedis and killing them all.
But blasters don't work on lightsabers.
No, but they do work, and because they just start shooting them at point blank range, because the Jedis aren't expecting it. If the Jedi knows that someone's going to attack them, they can use the lightsaber to deflect it. But because the clones are standing right next to them and they just turn to them and shoot them, they can't do anything about it. So all the Jedis are getting shot left, right and centre. They're all getting injured and dying. Except the wisest Jedi of all, who's the cleverest Jedi?
I know the one who said this question. What are you doing, my holiness?
Yeah. So Yoda, the one you're talking about, the clones go to kill Yoda, but he knows he's so clever. He can just work it out, and he knows the clones are after him. So he turns around and kills the clones. And then he knows something's afoot, and he says, oh no, bad this is. I must decide now what to do. So he doesn't know what to do. And Obi-Wan's on his way back as well. And Obi-Wan finds... Obi-Wan's just beaten General Grievous, I think. But he knows something's up, and I think someone probably gets in touch with him and says, Obi-Wan, everything's going to pot, mate. Get back here as soon as you can. I need your help. Because all the other Jedis are getting killed. And then, even worse, and this is really the worst bit out of all the films, is Anakin goes to the Jedi Temple, and he starts just killing all the Jedis because he's the strongest Jedi, remember. And even worse, he goes and kills all the little youngling Jedis, all the little ones that are training, the little kids. And Anakin just like gets them all and hits them with his lightsaber, and they're all gone as well. And everything's just really bad at this point. Anakin's just horrific. And Obi-Wan gets back to see Yoda, and Yoda says, check out, or the CCTV, check out, look, Anakin turned to the dark side. He has, watch, killing the younglings he is. And so Obi-Wan and Yoda watching the camera, and they see that Anakin's done this, and they know at that point that he's definitely turned to the dark side.
I think Yoda's right.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's wrong.
Yeah, well, Obi-Wan knows now and agrees with Yoda that that Anakin's gone bad. He's gone nuts. So then Obi-Wan goes to find Padme and says, you'll never guess what a day I've had. Things have gone really bad. You know, your husband, who is you having kids of as well, he's just gone crazy and killed loads of Jedis. And Padme says, no, I don't believe it. And Obi-Wan says, just trust me, he definitely has. And she sort of doesn't want to believe it. But then Anakin turns up and says, right, come on, let's go. I've worked out how to use some special powers. I've had a tough day, done a couple of bad things, but generally I'm going to be alright. Oh, by the way, I joined the dark side. And she goes, what was that last bit you said? What have you done today? And Anakin goes, well, I sort of joined the dark side of the Force. And she goes, what are you playing at? Why have you done that? And he says, well, because I thought you were going to die in childbirth, and Darth Sidious, my new mate, says that I can save you if I just learn a few dark side tricks. So it's all going to be fine. Just get on the spaceship and let's go. And she says, no! I'm not hanging around going out with someone who's joined the dark side. If you want to join the dark side and be evil and go around calling yourself Darth Vader, you can go and find some other woman to be with, because I'm going. Obi-Wan's just getting the spaceship ready. I'm going off with him. He's at least good, right? So see you later. And Anakin just gets furious. He says, no! And he, I think, has a go at Padme so much, pushes her around a bit, and she starts to fall to the floor, and she's injured and going, I'm hurt now because of you. And Anakin just says, right, Obi-Wan, come on, I want to fight you. I'm going to kill all the Jedis anyway, so you're one of them. Even though I'm a bit sad about it, because you're sort of my master, you trained me, I'm going to kill you now. Let's have a fight. So Obi-Wan says, right, okay, and they have a big lightsaber fight. And then Anakin, I think, legs it, gets into a spaceship and flies off to another planet where it's just all fire everywhere, because I think it's a volcano planet where they have like scrap. They burn lots of metal to make it go away. And Obi-Wan flies after Anakin and finds him and chases him to this planet, and Anakin says, just leave me alone, I'm trying to join the dark side, just stop it. And Obi-Wan's just furious with him, and he says, you killed the Jedis, you killed the young ones, you're bad, what's happened to you? Says it in a Scottish accent because he's played by Ewan McGregor, but I can't do one. And then he goes and he fights Anakin, who's now called Darth Vader, and they're fighting on these platforms that they're floating along on a river of fire. And they're jumping around from different one to a different one, fighting each other with lightsabers, and it's one of the best lightsaber fights ever, because they're both the best Jedis pretty much that are there. And then Obi-Wan's really sad because he's fighting his person that he trained, and it's really sad as well because he remembers when Anakin was just a little kid. Do you remember in The Phantom Menace when Anakin was just a little boy, all innocent, and now he's just totally bad? So anyway, Obi-Wan jumps off the fire thing and gets up a hill, and Anakin goes to jump to Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan says, "No, don't do that, because you know that I'm on the higher ground. You'll definitely just lose." And Anakin just does it anyway, because he wasn't ever very good at listening to Obi-Wan. And he jumps up, and Obi-Wan goes, "Right, chop!" and chops his legs off. And Anakin lies on the floor going, "Ah!" And I think Obi-Wan then also chops his arms off as well. And Anakin's just furious, and he's all burning in the fire, going, "Ah, I'm burning!" And Obi-Wan says, "Oh, you know, I know I won this fight, but I'm still really upset about this, you know. You were supposed to be the best Jedi. You're supposed to be good and bring balance to the Force. What's the matter with you? So now you're just going to die. Right, see you later then, I'm going." And Obi-Wan goes. And at this point he meets Yoda. And Yoda says, "Bad this is. All the clones turn to fight for the Emperor they have. Jedi gone they all are." And Yoda knows that Obi-Wan and him are the only Jedis that are left out of all of them. So Padme has 2 little babies but sadly Anakin was right, and she did die while she gave birth to them. And so there's 2 little babies that the robot midwife droids have helped her give birth to. And Yoda's there going, "Oh, don't know what to do with this," because these are basically Anakin's children. They might be able to be really good at using the Force and stuff if they get older, and he's probably going to come and try and find them and, I don't know, turn them to the dark side as well and stuff, because he's really on the dark side now. And so Obi-Wan and Yoda decide that they're going to hide the babies. So Obi-Wan says, "Well, I'll take the boy, because I'll go to a sandy planet where no one will find me. So, and I'll get him to be brought up by Anakin's family." And so I think Anakin's brother is called Owen or something. So I'll go there and I'll keep an eye on him, and you hide somewhere else. So Yoda says, "Okay, to Dagobah I will go." Yoda goes to Dagobah, and
Where Yoda lives.
Yeah,
Where?
that's where he stays for ages. But just before he goes to Dagobah, he says to this guy whose name is something Organa or whatever, he says, "Right, you are a prince or a king of a certain planet or something, Alderaan I think he lives on. You can have this little baby girl and look after her and treat her really nicely and make sure she grows up." And he said, yeah, I'll make her be a princess. It's going to be all good. She'll be lovely and everything's going to be fine. Well, actually it's not, because that Emperor's in charge now, and he's going to make the Empire be really powerful and really strong, and it's really bad. So let's just hide. So Obi-Wan hides on Tatooine. Yoda flies to Dagobah to live, and Obi-Wan takes a little boy, the little boy that Anakin gave, or that Padme gave birth to, and he's called Luke, and he puts him on Tatooine and keeps an eye on him. And this Organa, leader of the other planet, Alderaan, takes Leia, the other little baby, and thinks, right, I'll hide her and bring her up and it'll all be good. And then everything's gone wrong, and to make it even worse, the Emperor doesn't just be the Emperor all on his own and use all the clone army to become what he would call now stormtroopers. Even worse than that, he goes and flies to that planet where Obi-Wan and Anakin had a fight, and do you know what he finds there? He finds Anakin lying there, or Darth Vader as his name is now, lying there with no arms and no legs, and he's all burnt and stuff. But he thinks, right, well, I'll pick him up. I'll pick him up out of this fire and take him to the hospital. And even though he's got no legs or anything like that or whatever, I'm going to put him in a special black suit. And that black suit is going to help him breathe. It's going to look really mean and nasty. And when he finally learns to walk about again, he's still going to be able to use the Force, so he's still really strong, and he's probably now even more powerful because he's so angry and he's so turned to the dark side because he's furious about not having any legs anymore, and he's just thinking, "Argh!" And then he gets even more angry because when he's in hospital getting his black suit made for him, Darth Sidious says to him, Padme did die and they've hidden your kids, and Darth Vader just goes, "Rah! I'm so angry," and he uses the Force and makes all the metal bend everywhere, and he gets furious. So now he's the most powerful person pretty much in the world, and the Emperor's really powerful as well. And then that's pretty much where it ends. The Emperor is in charge of the galaxy. He's got all the stormtroopers to help him, and Darth Vader is really powerful now, and he wears black armor and walks around using the Force on everybody who gets in his way, and they're controlling the galaxy. There's only 2 Jedis left, and they're hiding, and 2 little babies that can't do anything, and everything's just really, really, really bad. So what they sort of need is something to happen that brings them some new hope and stuff. So that's where the Revenge of the Sith ends. That's all of them, yeah. Except one. There's one more. Do you want to know what that's called?
Yeah, I think it's Force Awakens.
Oh, Force Awakens, yeah. I forgot about that. But there's also another one which is called Rogue One, and that's in between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and it tells you how the baddies are making a big Death Star, and some rebels have to try and get some plans to wreck it, so that someone in the future might be able to come along and wreck it all. So do you want to hear that one next?
Yeah.
Yeah? And then I'll tell you about The Force Awakens another time. Okay, good little boy. Drink the rest of your milk then and go to sleep, and I'll tell you about Rogue One next time. Good little boy. What?
Ow.
Not now. I can only do one story a night because they take a long time to say, and especially because I keep forgetting them and stuff. Okay, so that's the end of that one. Night night. Love you. Go to sleep.